So within the context of the members challenging the outcome of the elections, that doesn't change anything. Their position that they are not coming in the first place because they perceive that the election wasn't, let's say, free and fair. In that context, even in that context of them challenging the results of the election, the 15 1 and 2 still applies to them. Even if they're staying out based on their perception that things were done wrong during the elections.
I will say to you, while I acknowledge that man's perception is his bleak reality, what if their perception was proved wrong by the courts? Does one reverse and say, well, okay, we are going back now? You see, you can't do that. You have to go by the rules. And I mean, remember, there's this separation of powers doctrine. There's the legislature, where I am, and that's where we are dealing with stuff like this. There's the judiciary, which is the courts, and there's the executive. 3 separate arms. Okay? So, if they want to challenge, and I mean the world over, election results have been challenged. But no one has brought to my attention, and I dare say perhaps it never happened, that person stayed away while they're challenging the petition in court. In St. Kitts they're going. In Antigua they went. I mean, people do their challenge and then they do whatever else they have to do.
Okay, what
Because, for example, you're saying to me that these good gentlemen felt that they were justified in staying away. Well, at what point did the Honorable Norris Prevost differ so that he came in and did something that the other two didn't do? What's going on here? I'm asking a question because in reply to your, because I really, but I cannot concern myself with what's going on in people's minds. I have enough to deal with what's going on in my mind, so I'm not going to even try to go into people's minds. I'm dealing with my understanding of the rules, my duty as the administrator of this parliament to do the things that I have to do.
You obviously you are correct. You can't speak on what's going on in people's minds, but you can, and I think you have already hinted to what should have been the path. When we talking,
no, I'm just saying
what precedent. If there had ever been a case like that in the past, you have with reference to jurisdictions where people still vote, people still show
yes.
up in spite of what their issues are. Have these guys made a serious blunder? These gentlemen made a serious blunder in terms of not showing up? Is that what you say?
Have they made a serious blunder? I don't know that they've made a blunder as such. All I know is that they did not show up. They did not do what the rules required them, and I think they are long-standing. Well, barring the young gentleman from Salisbury, I do think that the other persons are well acquainted with the standing orders sufficiently to know what is required of them, and I think that they would know what would happen if they didn't come. I mean, I would hazard a guess that it is because the member for Roseau Central knew what would happen in terms of him being out of the house, why he chose, whatever reason he came. And so he's on a different footing to the others. I don't know. I mean, I'm just dealing with the reality of the situation. A member missed twice, but he came the third time, that's it. 2 members chose to miss 3. Then you have to deal with it.
On another issue, a little aside, but on the same matter, are there laws to guide a situation whereby a member would sort of decide to make an entry to Parliament and then just leave, before even proceeding with that or stay for the duration. And he continuously, he keeps on doing that. And they're lost to guide them. So you just come and go.
Unfortunately, no. There are no laws that. So, for the sake of argument, a member who has missed 2 meetings can simply come in, put in an appearance, clock in, as it were, and leave. And he will be deemed to have broken the 3-strike rule. That is how the law is at the moment. Oh, we've discussed it at CPA meetings, but it never it would require the standing orders to be changed. And interestingly, the very jurisdiction I was talking about, the members not only are, I think they refer to sittings as opposed to meetings. Now, every session, okay, I should start. Every parliament has 5 sessions if there's no intervening election, if it spans the normal time. Every session is made up of meetings, and every meeting is made up of sittings. Now, in certain jurisdictions, when that standing order rule is written, the one referring to members' absence, it goes so far as to say sittings. So, for example, if our rule had sittings instead of meetings, it would be very troublesome, because you have a morning sitting and an afternoon sitting, and sometimes even an evening sitting. You see? Can you imagine if it was that? You miss a day and you're out. That's a bit hard. So I dare say what might need to, the members may want to look at that, is to deal with the issue of a member just coming in and going right back out. For now, there's no rule against that.
You did mention something about when you come in and the oath is taken, then you qualify for the benefits. Does that mean that only now one of the people begins to get a salary?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's on taking the oath that the remunerations commence. The receiving of remunerations, I should say. So, do you all understand the issues very clearly?
One more thing. Now that Mr. Kiwa has entered the house, the make-up issue of the house has shifted a bit. What does that now say for the appointment of the various committees, seeing that he's not an opposition member?
Well, you might well find committees appointed. You might well find there's a leader of the opposition. You might well find their senators. But this is out of my domain. I just deal with it. After they come in, then I deal with them. But you might well find that happens.
Whether the United Group is possible between the petitions or not, that has no bearing on the decision taken now. That the seats are vacant, remains that way.
It remains that way regardless. What I mean, they're free to challenge my decision in court. That's another matter. One really doesn't have bearing on the other. Okay, well, I really thought there'd have been more questions, but I'm going to take it to mean that I explain things extremely badly so that I've left you confused, or that I explain things so well that there's no need for questions. I'm going to deal with the latter. I'm going to accept it as the latter.